Welcome to Lord of the Dunces, where we return to the lands of Middle Earth 2 months before a new show comes around.
Yay!
And
You sound
since
excited.
yeah, most likely I'm hope I have only a glimmer of hope that it's gonna be better than what people expect it to be.
And Giles just the Hawkeye meme. Don't do that. Don't give me hope.
Let's roll the dice. Oh shit! I didn't expect it to come up. Snake eyes.
Oh. Well, anyway, so to help set the record straight on some things that pretty much Amazon will most likely screw up, we're gonna talk about Sauron.
Yeah.
So we're taking a classic character. So enough of all this first age, second age, all the stuff that people don't know. We're gonna talk about a character everyone knows.
Quick question: do you want me to put a dunce hat on the eye for the thumbnail?
I don't know which either I was thinking like Sauron at the battle, the classic one where he holds his hand out, like him in his armor, and you put the dunce on top of him.
Oh, I could do that too.
Yeah. Okay. So much like last time we talked about Lord of the Rings, we talked about the Maiar, which Sauron is one of them.
Woo!
And specifically, he is the Maiar of Aurle, who is the smith of Vala. And so he's all about constructing. And also, he also created the dwarves.
Oh.
I think, let me just briefly check.
Good job, Sauron. You created the dwarves. I hope you're happy.
Yeah.
Ninjato has come very prepared.
Yes. I'm just trying to. I am so annoyed now. I am annoyed.
Oh.
I'm trying to find. Tolkien Gateway is not giving me the proper thing.
Tolkien, why?
Oh, yes, it is. It's known as Awe. His other name is Malhal. Okay.
All right.
Well, he's going to get his own thing because whatever. We'll get. Essentially, he created the dwarves. Who are the only good children.
Mm-hmm.
Good character connected to him. Because, as I mentioned before, he had Saruman as one of his Maiar, and the other one is Sauron. But he was not named Sauron.
Oh.
He was known as Mauron. Mauron.
Why the name change?
Because Sauron means abhorred. Well, one, branding. Two, Sauron means abhor in the which in Quenya. Which is where he got Mauron from. Wait, Quenya, one of the Elven languages. But anyway, what
does it mean again?
Abhor.
Abhor. Okay. Sorry.
Like, I abhor you. Really? I abhor this.
I thought you said a whore.
No.
Okay.
No. Okay. So you see, he
was so confused.
Yeah, he was very virtuous because his virtue was his love for order, planning, and coordination. He really hates confusion and chaos.
Wow.
To an extreme.
I can see how he turned evil. He's a bureaucrat.
Yeah, essentially. Yeah, essentially,
Oh.
think of a bureaucrat. And then when he sees Melkor doing all of his stuff, where Melkor is more of like, so Melkor is like the Dark Lord who just does everything by brute force and willpower.
Sauron go. Wait, let me guess. Sauron goes into him. He's like, "What the fuck are you doing? You're doing this all wrong. All wrong. This has to be like this, and you people got to be like doing it like this."
No. This is it. He goes, I love this. You're getting stuff done. Yeah, I'm joining you. Let's do this. And essentially his relationship with his boss, Melkor, aka Morgoth, is Shockwave.
Oh.
Like, so he doesn't backstab his leader. He's all about order and stuff, but he's a faithful leader. So when they first came to Middle Earth, Morgoth made his great fortress of Angband, which was up in the north. He appointed Sauron to be its commander. And when the Valar came along, knock, and grabs Melkor to take back to the Undying Lands to be judged, and because of the years of the trees, so we can have the Feanor failure. The Feanor's failure.
Failure.
Yeah.
Failure.
Yep. Just to remind you that Feanor is the failure. But Sauron was just there. He was he avoided capture and was basically kept stuff running.
Oh.
And when
someone's got to run the bureaucrat.
Yeah, essentially, he was running the empire. And then, so in the first age, there are a couple of things that he done. Like because of course Morgoth was the Dark Lord, so it's all about Morgoth. But Sauron got some cool bits. So after Fingolfin, which is the Chad first Elven king, like the Chad brother to Feanor. He gets defeated during a big battle, a big counteroffensive by Morgoth. Sauron attacks Tol Sirion, which was this island, and then he takes it over and he calls it Tolin Gaurhoth. No, Gaurhoth. And the island was originally called Minas Tirith. But not the Minas Tirith you know of. So,
really?
Yeah. Basically, Minas Tirith. So it was the name of an island, and then later on, Gondor made a city called Minas Tirith.
Like in honor of the island, or they just decided?
Probably.
It's
probably.
So if the new Minas Tirith were to be destroyed, would the next city be called New Minas Tirith?
I don't know. It wasn't called New Minas Tirith. They just called it Minas Tirith. But anyway, so Sauron renamed this island that old Elvish name, but because the real name, the English name, for us normies, is the Island of Werewolves, which, much like Shockwave, Sauron was the one who created the werewolves. Using actual wolves. So they're a bit more like dire wolves. So, and then when a certain guy named Barahir was causing trouble, Morgoth sent Sauron to grab him, and then he grabbed one of his companions, fooled him to give the location of his location of Barahir by saying, like, I got your wife. He lost his wife, and he's like, hey, I'll free you and return you to your wife for this information after torture. And the loss of his wife drove him to give the information, and he goes, oh yeah, she was already dead. Kill. But the guy then informed this a little nobody, Barahir's son, Baron. Yes, Baron Luthien.
Oh.
So his next appearance was basically a recurring antagonist. So if you remember Baron,
Mhm.
he became Italian for a bit, but
Yeah,
someone drove him away.
Yeah, he
And then-
got choppered a bit there.
Yeah, he got jobbed because, well, he got jobbed because of Huan. Let's be honest. Because, you see, when Baron and Finrun, Thelagon,
Uh-huh.
and 10 companions were trying to sneak their ways disguising themselves as orcs, remember,
Mhm.
Sauron caught them. And then he beat Finrun and Thelagon to a battle of songs of power.
What are you gonna do now, Sauron? I challenge you to a rock off.
Yes, exactly.
It's like Guardians of the Galaxy. He starts dancing, and Sauron's like, "What the fuck is this?"
What are you,
No,
what are you doing?
well, actually, the person who initially Finron did it was the one who initiated it. So to every other orc, all the companions, they just see an orc just started right away dancing and singing, while then Sauron knows this and he's like, okay, and he starts dancing and singing.
So it's a rock off. You want?
So-
It's a. Oh my god! It's just a climax to a Tenacious D and the Pick of Destiny. They have to challenge. They have to challenge the devil to a rock off.
And then
turns-
Sauron gets out his Sauron gets out his Dave Grohl drums, and
Yeah.
it's all over for them.
Yeah, but then, well, it also ends in a rap battle as well. Too.
Oh yeah. They recite their poetry and stuff.
Epic rap battle of fictional history.
Amazing.
Rap battles of fictional history! Finrod Felagod versus Sauron! Begin! I actually now want to see that. I want to see someone to do that, where they just do a rap battle between Sauron and Felagod.
Alright.
That would be hilarious. But anyway, so he wins, and he thought, "Oh, this is great." He just sends them in the dungeons. Either A, one of them will reveal why they're sneaking into Morgoth's territory, or we got 12 dead elves.
Awesome.
Yeah, and everything was going well until he noticed a girl outside of his gate, and he goes, "Oh, that's Luthien."
Hi, girly.
And then he and most of his werewolves got jobbed because she had Huan. She had Big Doggy.
You are no match for the power of dog.
Yeah, pretty much. And so he basically said, "Okay, Sauron gave up the island and he fled, and then he fled to another location, to Tarnu Fuin, and made it into a forest of horrors."
Mm.
And that is all we know of his actions in the First Age. Except for what
That's it.
happens at the end. Yeah, so after the War of Wrath, where the Vala elves came to Beleriand to kick Morgoth's butt and defeated him for good, destroying half of Middle Earth in the process.
Great job, guys.
Well, it just shows how powerful Morgoth is. Like, Morgoth may be like lamer and not as cool as Sauron, but he has that anime power level problem.
I just like to imagine though what after they finally win, it's just like SpongeBob. We did it! We saved Middle Earth.
Yeah, that was basically what happened.
Meanwhile,
But
Middle
the
Earth.
imagery was basically, think of a World War I battlefield. That was the description of the land after the war, which lasted 40 years.
Do we have trench warfare?
No, there's very little descriptions of the actual fighting and tactics. So that we don't know much about the war.
Probably a lot of scorched earth tactics. Then, if it's so
Yeah.
so damaged.
Yeah, most likely from Morgoth. Morgoth loves destroying stuff, but that's more Morgoth. We're talking about Sauron. So Sauron, after Morgoth gets defeated, he adopts a fair form and goes to the leader, Eowyn, and basically say, "I'm sorry. Please forgive me."
I'm
and Eowyn,
sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm so
Where's-
sorry.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, and Eowyn's response is, okay, if you're repentant, you have to come to Valinor and receive judgment from Manwë if you're really repentant.
Let me guess. No.
Yeah, he basically goes, let me think about that. No, and then he just runs away. Now, I wouldn't be surprised, right, if a creator decided to make it so that Sauron backstabs Morgoth, because he does his own thing after this point.
Maybe they would make it like Sauron doesn't like what Morgoth is doing, but he's like, you know what? I can't backstab. I'm not going to backstab you, but I'm just going to leave.
Yeah. So the thing
Sauron,
is
help
that
me. Sorry, you're not good for the bureaucracy anymore.
Well, yeah, because so here's the thing about they actually are fundamentally two different approaches to conquering Middle Earth. You'll realize as we explore in the second and third age, Morgoth has always been more brute force because he is a god essentially, and he just loves destroy everything. I just want this gone. I don't want any control. Like only my creations, my corruptions are allowed on Earth, and I'm just killing everything else. Sauron is like, no, I just want to rule, or I want to rule.
It's do we want to destroy the world or take over the world?
Yeah, that's the fundamental difference. It's like either massive genocide or massive slavery.
Which super villain you want to win? Doctor Doom or Galactus
or Thanos.
I was just making.
Well, if Sauron's whole shtick is he wants to turn Middle Earth into a giant bureaucracy, then let's be honest. Yeah, sure, we're gonna be slaves, and there's a giant eye watching over us. But
I consider Thanos kind of the midpoint.
Okay, yeah, but
it's like Galactus is like Morgoth. He wants to just destroy everything, and Doctor Doom is like, I'm gonna take over the world.
So
then I'll prove Richard's wrong.
Okay, yeah. So Sauron fled 500 years later. So 500 Second Age. There was for 500 years there was peace in Middle Earth. For 500 years. So in Elven lifespans, that's like 5 minutes.
Yep.
And it's and then an elf blinks. The greatest threat to the world is gone. The elf blinks again. He's like, I'm back.
Yeah. So Sauron, noticing that, hey, the Valar are not getting involved in Middle Earth. All right, let's do let's conquer the world. He starts with the men in the east and south. So the Haradrim. Yeah, the Easterlings and the Haradrim, because Melkor was already working, or Morgoth was already working amongst them. There was already a power base, essentially, of already corruption. So he basically became a god king.
Awesome.
Yeah. But by 500 years later, so around 1000 of the Second Age, after Gil-galad noticed that darkness was growing, but by 1000, Sauron noticed, oh, those Numenorians could be a problem. I may have to deal with that. And one of his ways of dealing with it was, okay, let's go into this little land called Mordor. And that's when he builds Mordor up. That all you know and love, including building
a few volcanoes here, a giant fortress there.
Yep, that's what he did.
Listen, this hill's a good place to put a giant tower. Maybe an eye also.
The eye does not come into play yet, but not yet.
I don't know, but it'd be funny if Sauron was just like, maybe an eye. Nah, an eye's a silly idea.
He probably tried to put like a painting in front of him of like a little drawing of an eye far away from the tower to see how it looks. It's like, it may look cool, only at the last resort. So, but it's like, anyway, back to my next plan. And so what happens is that he decided, okay, who should I corrupt first? Should I corrupt Numenor or the elves? And it's like, even though men are easier to sway, the elves are awfully more powerful. Let's go with elves. So, at 1200 in the Second Age, the elven kingdoms of Lindon, where Gil-galad rules, and Elrond lives. Okay, they receive a visitor from the Valar, an emissary who calls themselves Anatar, the Lord of Gifts.
I bear many gifts for you all. Ooh,
and instantly they go, no. Nope. They didn't trust him. They didn't know who he was, but he was like, nope.
Let me guess. They were, but he wanted to give him a bunch of rings.
We'll get to that. Then he decides, okay, and he goes, okay, I'm going to go to this place called Aragon, which was a prosperous kingdom headed by the only Chad in the line of Fëanor, Celebrimbor.
Oh.
You know, the grandson of Fëanor, the one who said, screw you, Dad.
Screw you, Dad. I'm going to be better.
Yeah. Slightly better. Slightly better.
Nonetheless.
He did get fooled by... he did allow Anatar to basically become his teacher, along with all his other elven smiths.
Oh.
Like, he was gladly received. Everyone in Aragon loved him, except for one person, one gal.
Oh.
And it was Gladriel.
Huh.
But that also means that her husband...
her husband wasn't the brightest.
Celebrin was like, he seemed like a good guy.
He seemed like a decent human being. Or,
he seems like...
I don't know, not human. You seem like a decent Middle-earther. I trust you.
Yeah. But anyway, so he spent years teaching them various craftsmen. So the kingdom prospers, and Celebrimbor became the most well-known craftsman in all of Middle-earth, like second to none. In terms of his craftsmanship. And as a final project for all of his students to prove that they have their thesis were the 16 rings of power.
Oh.
Telling them that they would bring prosperous to the kingdom and stuff.
Yeah, prosperous.
And after the rings were made, Anatar goes, well done, my students. And I can no longer teach you anything. And he just leaves. Leaves never to be seen again. 10 years later.
Sword, not sex.
10 years later. Clang, clang, clang.
Surprise! Whoa, Sauron, what is that? You like it? It's a ring.
Yep, that's exactly what happened. As soon as he puts it on, they go, oh crap, we've been tricked. Takes off the ring.
Well, what you doing? Why are you taking off your rings? Well, you tricked us. I didn't trick you. You fell for me. You fell for my trap. That's not tricking.
Yeah, and then
I
he
didn't
goes,
I didn't trick you. You gave it to me out of you didn't out of shit. I don't know where I'm
no,
going
no.
with this.
Well,
Whatever.
look, it's like I didn't trick you. You did it yourselves. And by the way, those were also my gifts. So I want them. I want all of them.
Get him back. What? No. Come on.
Give me your rings.
Give me my ring. Come on. Give it to me.
No.
Mr. Sauron, why are you sounding like why are you sounding like Palpatine? I don't know what you're talking about.
I want my rings of power.
Give me my rings of power.
But so he declares war on them
Ah.
over rings, and so this is around this time when he builds the Black Gates,
Mm.
and then starts the war in 1693,
Uh-huh.
which was 93 years after he created the One Ring.
Mm.
Yes.
All right.
93 after, so he was preparing everything. He had a massive armies of orcs, trolls, men, which were chiefly Easterlings and Southerns,
Oh.
because God King, and thus began the War of the Elves and Sauron.
Yeah.
And Aragian
Hmm.
no longer existed after this war. It got wiped out, and Eredor was pretty much devastated. So there's only like 3 elven strongholds left.
Uh-huh.
Wait, I don't think Lothlorien was even created at this point. So only 2 elven strongholds left after this whole conflict. And Celebrimbor, he was captured, and he was captured and only recovered. Sauron only managed to get 13 of them.
Mm.
The 3 elven rings were hidden from him, and he demanded Celebrimbor tell him where those rings were, and he refused. So he was slain, and his body was impaled on a spike to be used as a standard for his army. Yes.
All right.
Yeah, and by the way, this is the war that caused the Gates of Moria to close.
Ah.
The Gates of Moria to close. It will never be reopened until the Fellowship shows up.
Mm-hmm.
And he seems to win. Like he got them all by the throat. He got the elves, and then the Numenorians showed up.
Oh crap.
Yeah, the Numenorians not only attacked them to reinforce their elven allies, they also attacked them in another angle, and utterly wiped the floor. It was not even a joke. It was like a JoJo Bizarre Adventure beatdown.
Oh.
Like the amount of forces he lost, he fled back to Mordor with little more than his own bodyguard and a handful of orcs.
Oh. I'm
So
assuming this is where the opening to Lord of the Rings takes place. The whole, a battle in Mordor. No, there's still more.
yeah, this is both. We're not in the Last Alliance.
Oh, but you got his ass beat though. How's he?
Oh yeah,
back?
he did get his ass beat.
So,
but you see,
so what's his comeback?
so what happened? Yeah, this was a setback.
All right.
And so he decided, okay, he decided, all right, the Numenorians humiliated me. I nearly won. If they didn't get involved, I would have won this war. So he targets the Numenorians, but this time he had a plan. So his plan, with his rings of power, he had 13 of them. He sent 3 to 3 corrupted lords of Numenor. He gave an Easterling king a ring of power, and then 5 other men. And then he sent this to the dwarves, but the dwarves were too hardy in resistance. It just made him greedy. But for the men, they eventually faded.
For the dwarf's greed, it led to bullshit. I know from like The Hobbit.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, they were already greedy and stuff. It just made them worse. Made the lords. But so he decided to also. So with the men, they eventually fade, quote unquote. And in 2251 of the Second Age, they became ring wraiths. Also, at this point, he was also, so because of this, he was also dominating, his regular, the South and the Haradrim. And then he decided, so this is a part that you can have multiple interpretations of.
Okay.
He declares, he gave himself titles of King of Kings, King of Men, Lord of the Earth, and Lord of the World. And that offended the Numenorians. And at this point, the Numenorians were falling under the shadow because they were pretty jealous of elves during this time. We'll go more deeper next month with the Numenorian.
All right.
With the tale of Numenor. But essentially at this point, the biggest thing to tell whether they are following in the right path is their relationship with the elves, and they're not very fond of elves at this point. So they're becoming corrupted. But anyway, so the last king of Numenor, Alfarazon, gathered all the Numenorians and go straight for Sauron and captured him. He surrendered.
Oh.
It's like SpongeBob. Beep! I surrender!
Pretty much. So, but this is interesting. When he gets captured, so first, he was gonna kill Sauron, but then Sauron, the conversation just basically went like this. All right, I'm gonna kill you. Or essentially he was gonna take him to the elf, something like that. But basically Sauron convinced him that why not just capture me for your glory? Why give me to the elves and stuff? Oh, you really want the elves to take credit?
Huh.
The Pharazôn hate elves.
You got a point there. I do hate those elves.
It was Magic would know. I'm not sure about you, Cengiz. It's much like in that TTS moment with Magnus the Red and Zinch.
Which one? Which moment?
Oh yeah, that one.
Yeah, to open the gate, to do all of
yeah. You would be able to do that. You're not much of a man as those elves.
Yeah, basically, that's what he did.
Ah.
Yeah, pretty much. So he just simply captured him and brought him to Numenor. And then within a year, he became his the advisor to the king and became known as Ziggurar the Wizard.
Huh.
So one interpretation is that this was Sauron thinking quick on his feet. I am of the belief that Sauron planned this whole thing. That Sauron knew the Numenorians were arrogant because he had 3 ring wraiths that were Numenorian lords. And Numenorians...
All right.
And so he decided, okay, part of his plan was to purposely get captured and then corrupt them. And the biggest way he corrupted was he went to Alfarazon, sat him down, and basically told him about the truth about the universe. You see, you were told by the elves about the Valar and Iluvatar. They are false. It is false. They don't worship Iluvatar. Have you ever heard of our Lord and Savior, Melkor? He started a Numenorian religion to Melkor that demanded human sacrifice, and conveniently, there was human sacrifices in the form of the elf weeaboos in the land, known as the Faithful.
Oh.
The good guys. and they started sacrificing them.
Mm-hmm.
And then when Alfarason was getting old, Sauron, known as Ziggur, could tell him it's time to attack Valinor itself. And he advised him to build the biggest navy the world has ever seen.
Oh.
And they went straight for Valinor, and it was destroyed.
Awesome.
And it was that moment when Sauron was in Numenor, in the Temple of Malcor, laughing his butt off, when the floods, when the ring came down, and the island sunk. It destroyed his body. It took him some time. That was a setback. It took him some time to recover after he got back to Middle-earth, and he could no longer presume a fair form. So before, he could have disguised himself as very handsome and beautiful. And now he's just stuck with, okay, I'm now a metal guy in a suit.
Huh.
Well, at least I'm intimidating. If I can't go for love,
Yeah.
I'll be hated.
It was at this point, it's like, okay, I did all I could by doing subversion. I think it's time now I could go kick everyone's butt. Like, come on, what could go wrong? And that leads into the War of the Last Alliance between men and elves.
All right, this is it.
What-
I'm wiping the floor.
What can go wrong?
What can
Goes to
What?
Sauron has a giant eye in a tower. Apparently this.
Well, here's the thing, okay? Like, we can joke about what could go wrong. He took out Elendil, who was like one of the last faithful Numenorians, and he took out Gil-galad, who was the Elven King since the end of the First Age.
Well, he won. They won, but at what cost?
Yeah, and
Bro,
also
what
this was also when he decided to set fire to the gardens of the Entwives, which will later make the Entwives go, "See ya, honey, we're going," and just move away from the Fangorn forest. And this is also the war that caused the dead marshes to be born.
Fun.
Yeah. 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 And then the only difference in the book the lore as opposed to the movie. So you know how in the movie you had Isildur cut off the hand and the fingers? It seems like in the lore, the implication is that no, Elendil and Gil-galad did defeat him, but both of them died, and then Isildur with his corpse cut the ring from the hand.
Oh.
Minor changes. It's a minor.
You know, it's a minor qualm. It's definitely not a deal breaker or anything like that.
No, it is clear that I have defeated you in intellectual combat. Hand over your channel and your ass.
Yeah, and essentially Isildur took the ring because as basically his war prize for the death of his father and brother during this war. Oh yeah, Sauron took out Isildur's brother at that point.
Huh.
And of course, oh yeah, I forgot to mention about the One Ring. Like, you know how Sauron put all of his power essentially into the One Ring. Like how in the movie says, like, you know, he needs the ring to get his full power because in making it, he just put most of his life force into it.
Huh. All right.
So that's that was the end of the First Age, of course. And now we're on the Third Age. So when he was defeated, all of his men subjects, like the Easterlings, suddenly we're free.
Oh.
We're free from Sauron's grasp. And guess what they immediately devolved into?
Well, you could take the Sauron from the people, but you can't take the people from the Sauron.
Yeah, and they immediately went to war with each other.
We're
And
free!
Power vacuum time.
Power vacuum, let's go!
yeah! What happens when you kill the Overlord? And if killing the Overlord is every fantasy novel that features young punky teens taking out the main bad guy was realistic.
Fun!
Oh man, that was a long meme. Okay, but so he was weakened, so he just decided to go and hang out in the East for a while and hide amongst the few followers he had. And it was during this time when the wizard showed up finally,
Alright.
and like he was managing to convince Easterling, like the Easterlings tried to do stuff like invade Gondor a bunch of times at this point. But it was when he came back in the Third Age, 1050, where he goes to an old he just chose a hill in the southern Greenwood, in this little unknown land, and he built a fortress called Dol Guldur.
I'm an eye now.
And yeah, that's where Mirkwood was created.
I'm an eye now.
Yeah, and not fully yet, but yeah, pretty much. He's just a spirit. This was when he was now dubbed the Necromancer, because people thought, oh, it's just one of the Nazgul. Just taking up residence there, just an evil spirit, just avoid it. Avoid it like the plague.
Wait a minute. That evil spirit looks familiar.
Oh, by the way, Sauron did create a plague, a horrible plague.
Oh, lovely.
And it led into, and it was at the worst time. So, Warner Brothers currently is making a movie called The War of the Rohirrim.
They are?
Yeah, they're making.
Oh.
They're making an anime movie. Recently, they announced that Miranda Otto, who played Eowyn, is gonna narrate it. But during that time, so it talks about this time where essentially early on in the Rohirrim's the life of the kingdom, it talks about the story of Hel Hammerhand and how Helm's Deep got its name. And during that time, it was when a horrible plague, basically a black plague, went through all of Middle-earth, and a whole bunch of other evil stuff happened. Yes, that was Sauron's fault. Sauron did it!
It was me all along.
It was me all along. I see you. But so, yeah, basically, he returned, and every evil faction in Middle-earth became more bold in their approach, from the orcs to the Misty Mountains to some dragons who started raiding dwarves' holds. And the Nazgul returned, and speaking of which, he decided to take out the human kingdom, starting with Arnor, the kingdom of Arnor, which was essentially when Numenor sunk. There was two human kingdoms. One is called Arnor, which is basically a huge human kingdom, which was right next to the Shire. So that wilderness, like Weathertop, was actually a fortress of Arnor. And then you got Gondor, and you can probably guess what's going to happen with Arnor at this point. Because Sauron sent the ye old witch king to start Angmar, and took advantage of the kingdom of Arnor splitting into multiple kingdoms, and the Witch King basically having a war that wiped out Arnor. Also, at this point, because of the plague and freaking Gondor retreated, so Minas Ithil got pulled and became Minas Morgul. on that. And basically, his two goals were, of course, take over the world, but also to kill every descendant of Isildur.
Ah.
Anyone who's a blood-red Isildur, which is why and also like that's why the Angmar War also basically ended with the Witch King killing essentially the last king of Gondor. And a whole bunch of stuff. And basically Aragorn's the Dunedain are basically the leftover warriors and royalty of Arnor. So, and that's where Aragorn comes down in. But anyway, it was also during this time when the Balrog shows up, of course. And so, he was doing all well, chilling out in Dol Guldur until Gandalf decided to investigate the fortress. And then Sauron goes, okay, and he just sneaks away, back to the east.
Gonna go back. Don't mind me.
Yeah, don't mind me. And Gandalf is, and this is like the time of the White Council, where you have Gandalf, Saruman, like prominent
wizards.
Yeah, all the wizards except for the blue ones.
The blue ones are off smoking something somewhere.
Yeah. Remember, the blue ones are in the east doing something.
What the?
Oh shit! These Easter mans, they may be war loving barbarians. Man, they make good stuff.
Gandalf fighting for the fate of Middle Earth. Fighting for the fate of Middle Earth. Meanwhile, Radagast. Did you hear something? Nah.
Yeah.
Continue smoking. Ah.
Yeah. So Sauron fled at 2063 at the Third Age, and then he came back at 2460. Came back to Dol Guldur, and coincidentally, 3 years later, that's when Gollum finds Smeagol finds the ring, or Deagle. Deagle finds the ring, and then Smeagol killed him and took it. So he comes back. So with him back, he goes, okay, I want to conquer Middle-earth, find my ring, and kill that stupid heir of Isildur. And it's like, okay, so he just started various campaigns. Like he started maneuvering where like your Uruk-hai took exit Mordor, conquer Ithilien, orcs from the mountain took over Moria at this point, officially.
Alright.
And then like various campaigns, and then Sauron servers at this point also conquered King Thrain the Second, who had one of the seven dwarven rings. And King Thrain was also Thorin's dad. So you know that crazy dwarf from the second Hobbit movie?
Yeah.
That's Thrain.
Ah.
Yeah, and so at this point, the dwarves got kicked out by Smaug. At this point. And then at 2850, Gandalf snuck into Dol Guldur again, and then that is when he learned from Thrain that, it's Sauron. And then the next year, he informed the White Council, like, okay, we need to attack. We need to attack the fortress. And Saruman goes, you know what? No. That is silly. That is silly. Sauron is not the necromancer. That is impossible. It's clearly not because I'm investigating the Gladden Fields right next to it to find something. Nothing at all.
It's not Sauron. Don't be silly.
Meanwhile, he's searching. Where's that ring? Where's that ring? And so he just been like, at this point he's just orchestrating attacks on everyone. Like he had basically a Genghis Khan show up at one point to attack Gondor. On that, so it all kind of comes to a stop a bit with 2939, because that's when The Hobbit happens. Because during this time, it was when the Gandalf and the White Council finally decided to attack Goldor. But it was just enough time for Sauron to just slip away, because he was expecting it at this point. But basically, his grasp of the North, especially after the Battle of the Five Armies, he decided no more of the North stuff for a long while. So Sauron came back and start rebuilding, and it's at this time when Denethor and Saruman tried to use the Palantir to gain knowledge. And here's the fun fact: Denethor actually withstood the mind manipulations of Sauron.
Really?
But it broke him. Essentially, you can write it as a Cthulhu story. Saruman, he got swayed.
Saruman. Well,
that's kind of embarrassing for Saruman. That's kind of embarrassing when Denethor had a stronger will and mind than Saruman when it comes to
Saruman. Well, guess I'm serving Sauron now.
For more power, it's wiser to join. I'll be Saruman the Many Colors. So yeah, so Sauron just will go, Saruman, okay, go destroy Rohan. And then meanwhile, at 3009, a little thieving creature came knocking at his door at Mordor.
I wonder why.
And it's Gollum. And he just goes, okay, what do you know about the ring? What do you know about the precious? And we're gonna do this the old Inquisition style.
I'm gonna get medieval on your ass.
Time to get medieval.
Yeah. So, yep. Torch send him to the rack. And that's when he learns.
That's actually pretty good.
Yeah, and this is when he first learned about hobbits.
What the heck is a hobbit?
What the fuck is a hobbit?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh,
that's most people actually in Middle Earth. Like, here's the fun fact, which annoys me about the future show. Hobbits are never actually showed much in the Legendarium.
They're basically in the batfuck middle of nowhere.
Pretty much, they're complete unknowns, only to Gandalf. Essentially, the most we know about Hobbits is from The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings.
Wow, it's almost like The Hobbit is about a hobbit.
Eating.
Well, yeah, also eating,
smoking, and
it's like
more farming so he can eat and smoke more.
It's like the reason why they're complete unknowns and why they were perfect for carrying the ring is that no one knew about them. They didn't participate.
Sauron's like, I thought I knew everything. What the fuck is a hobbit? I'm panicking a little bit over here. What the fuck is a hobbit?
What is a hobbit?
Is it a secret weapon?
Yeah.
Oh, and then Sauron gets his hand on one. He's like, oh, it's just some short, fat thing that likes to eat and smoke a lot.
And it was at this point when he was like gathering, for the War of the Ring, that is when the littlest eye became the symbol.
Mm.
The official symbol is like, okay, me being an eye thing.
Come on. We got a brand. We got some branding here. Sauron has to be a brand. Everybody wants to know they got their ass kicked by Sauron.
I've embraced the eye.
So you have to too. And so Gollum escapes, and then he was actually alarmed when Gollum gets captured by the elves.
Huh?
Which then just kickstarts the Lord of the Rings at 3018.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is, I think 3018 is that year. Yep, is the year of the Lord of the Rings. So what generally
in the year of our Lord of the Rings, 3018.
Ah, I love the ear of our Lord of the Rings.
yeah.
Truly
Yeah.
something.
So so Sauron essentially, I'll just go briefly, but Sauron was essentially just doing attacks on Gondor while sending in the Nazgul at first in secrecy to find the ring. In general, let me just briefly look over. I did read this over, but I just find some quick tidbits because you know the Lord of the Rings. You know from our heroes' perspective, what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
He did try to get information about Bilbo by sending a messenger to the dwarves in Erebor and threatening to attack them.
Mm-hmm.
For failing, and they refused. So the Lord of the Ring went to that neck of the woods as well.
Mm.
And so in 3019, at March 5th, 3019, it's like, oh, he found somebody. He found somebody who he thinks had the ring, and it's Pippin. So Return of the King. So Pippin was when he opened up the ring, and Sauron thinks he has the ring. And
Pippin.
Yeah,
What
and
the fuck is a Pippin? Stupid name.
well, he didn't know. He just looked at this random person. And it's like, you have the ring.
He's like this short. Fat.
Wait a minute. You're the one who has my ring? You?
Well, yeah. Well, he also believed that Pippin was a prisoner of Sauron. It's like,
Wait. You're the prisoner of Sauron? Oh my goodness, what is going on these days? I don't know anymore.
This is who the big alliance of man, elves, and dwarves are sending me.
Well, here's the thing about it. Throughout,
little thing. Sorry.
He never realized the mission of the ring bearer. He knew it existed. A ring bearer existed. But he couldn't fathom what I like about Sauron is that he is like, when you learn more about the lore, it's like, oh, he is such a confident bad guy. Like, he nearly won multiple times, but his main flaw is that he's full of himself, and he tends to overlook a detail. And this important detail was who the ring bearer is and what was his mission. Because he thought that the mission was to bring the ring to Gondor and then use the power of the ring against him. And it didn't help that a day later, after seeing Pippin, Aragorn showed up like, here's my sword! Here's the sword of Elendil! And he didn't even say the thing. He just like show himself and hit in the sword using the Palantir. And Sauron's like, oh crap. Alright, we need to attack Minas Tirith now.
Oh. Okay. Well, it's all taken care of though. Everything's taken care of. Nothing can stop me and everything's gonna still go well.
The Witch King is in charge of this battle. Nothing could go wrong. The whole entire got destroyed. Witch King got killed by a woman.
Wait. You lost to a woman?
You lost to some dumb fucking nobleman's daughter?
And a hobbit? What the flip is a hobbit?
What the hell is a hobbit? It's just Sauron staring angrily. There's just silence, and then the
you can't tell, but my
it's just trying to speak, and Sauron's like puts his finger up, and just kills him.
Yeah, and then what's so funny is that he is so dead. He still thinks that they have the ring and they're planning to take over. That he just focused all of his attention on when the Free People's Armies was spent 9 days marching from Minas Tirith to the Black Gate. Even when he was told, "Oh yeah, we got an Elvish prisoner in Cirith Ungol." He didn't investigate it any further. It's like, no, they have the ring. They're planning to attack. But sir, it wasn't until when Frodo put on the ring and Mount Doom and realized, oh crap. I screwed up. Yeah, when you learn more of the lore, it's like, yeah, he was such a prideful, arrogant prick. I love him.
Also,
I love villains being cartoonishly evil.
So there is kind of something hilarious now. Now that I looked, well, you've changed how I look at Lord of the Rings, because now I just realized everything was also he could establish a bureaucracy.
I just want everything to be room. I just want everything to be.
At this point, his form of bureaucracy involved, everything being a wasteland. At the start, it was like, yeah, let's make a perfect bureaucracy, and then by the end, it's like, yeah, we're gonna just burn a whole bunch of stuff. I hate pretty things. We're gonna replace it all with machines.
My God, I've become Melkor. That bastard.
And guess what happened? He becomes a spirit, and then he's sent into the void along with his master Melkor.
So what are you in here for? Remember when I tried to burn everything? What are you here for? I tried to burn everything. Ah, see, there you go.
Hey, want to burn everything? I'm planning to get out. Want to burn everything? Yeah! Yeah. Yeah, but that's a topic for an event called Dalgor Dagoroth, which is an event, is a pseudo-canon event, which is basically Middle Earth. It's Middle Earth Ragnarok.
Oh.
Think of a Middle Earth Ragnarok combined with Endgame.
Oh. Does that mean everyone's going to be cracking jokes?
Everyone's here. It's basically the Smash Bros. Everyone's here.
All right. Well, that's fun. I can't wait.
Okay, yeah. But yeah, that's the history of Sauron.
Awesome. Also, he could establish a bureaucracy.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Much like Shockwave.
Shockwave didn't want to establish a bureaucracy. I don't think so.
Probably one version it will become that.
Probably. But yeah. All right.
So what do you think of Sauron after
I
What
found
do I
it
think of
funny he was a
Sauron?
bureaucrat.
Yeah. Honestly, that really changed a lot of how I viewed Sauron now.
But I would say he's so competent, though. Yeah, he loses.
No, I still think Sauron's a great villain.
Well, he
Like,
lost, but he lost competently.
yeah.
Yes.
I still think he's a great villain. It's just kind of funny now when you realize what his end game was. It's just like I just want to burn everything. What about bureaucracy? Desist the bureaucracy.
Yeah, yeah. Everything is just gonna be machines. Like we're gonna just have wooden machinery. Like everything is gonna be Orthanc.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So next month we're gonna cover Numenor.
Numenor.
And then I want to take another break from Lord of the Rings.
You got me really wanting to do Wheel of Time. That'd be fun.
Yeah, you could do a Wheel of Time.
Yeah, just have like one topic of Wheel of Time lore. That would be hilarious.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and maybe I know at some point I want to tell you, Changus, more about Star Wars because there's some hilarious stuff with Star Wars lore. Because I know you're not gonna watch it, not gonna.
I mean, I'm interested in Star Wars. I just find a lot of stuff about Star Wars. I don't know.
Dumb.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Yeah.
honestly, my opinion of Star Wars is, I see why people complain, but at the same time, it's like I don't care enough to go. I agree completely because let's be honest, it sounds like there sounds like a lot of dumb stuff as well, and Star Wars in general, like just. It's a cool thing. I like it, but it sounds like there's a lot of dumb stuff. Honestly, that I find. It's like oh, Disney made Star Wars dumb. I don't know. I'm hearing some dumb things
He's
about
all
Legends
wrong.
too. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I would like to learn more about Star Wars just to see if it is dumb or not. So
Yeah, I Star Wars is probably my favorite sci-fi universe. Out of the like Gundam is close. Like or other mecha genre. Like mecha is my favorite type of sci-fi genre, but I love Star Wars. But I'm at this point it's like accept the stupid. Where it's like, yeah, most stories are gonna be crap. Because the way Star Wars lore is made, like new Star Wars shows where it's like, yeah, we're gonna like as opposed to Lord of the Rings, right? You have Tolkien who like builds an entire story so that he can talk about his made up language. Which was encouraged by C.S. Lewis. Like, Tolkien would never have published this without C.S. Lewis's encouragement.
C.S. Lewis. And it's just C.S. Lewis's head on the Giga Chad guy.
Yeah. Like, literally, Tolkien was just like, yeah, this is my world. Here are some things, like the meaning of my Elvish language. And meanwhile, Star Wars lore is like, okay, we need to fill the gaps between episode 4 and episode 5. Episode 4 and 5 make some cool Star Wars adventures, and then years later, it's like, yeah, those old stories can't fit. We're gonna have to clean them up a bit, like sort of ignore them. It's like they are technically canon, but we're kind of ignoring them.
Mm.
And then Disney just goes, yeah, we're gonna total clean slate, but
Wipe
not
the
really.
wipe the slate clean.
But not really. We're just gonna rip up the stupid stuff.
I don't know anymore. Star Wars is silly. I don't know. I'm just gonna wait for the next Dune movie to come out.
Dune. You could do Lord of the Dunces on Dune as what?
Oh, I would love it. Like, I would love you to tell me more about the world of Dune. I'm like,
I only read the first
Changus,
novel, but
I've read the first novel. Changus, you've watched the movie like 10 fucking times. You'd probably
Yeah,
be most to do that.
yeah, but like but that movie's only part 1 out of what, like 2 or 3.
Changus,
So it's like,
you might as well read the book at this point.
yeah.
all right.
And then you got Doom Messiah, and then you get to have story, and then you have all the sequels, which that adds so much weirdness.
I know. Paul's like this son or grandson becomes like a
Yeah, it becomes a worm. Someone got turned into a worm. All right.
Sorry, I was talking to family.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think like we can stop here. We had a wonderful time talking about Sauron. Top 3 villains of all fiction, in my opinion.
What's the other 2 again?
I don't know yet. I would really love to do a stream about
Probably Darth
our
Vader.
favorite films.
Darth Vader would be on it.
Vader's good.
He's a good villain, but I don't think top 3 for me.
Really?
Really?
Yeah.
All right, who'd you put on there?
Oh man, I need to think about it. I'll probably put Trace Krishnada from Gundam Wing.
Gundam is going to send all our mobile suits and weapons out into space to be destroyed.
Yeah, I would definitely put Sauron higher than him because the end plan, Sauron's plans is very reasonable. Well, reasonable by the end, like Trey's was like mostly reasonable. And then at the end, it's like, oh, okay, your philosophy is a little bit off. Okay, so let's just end this. See you guys next time as we talk about Numenor. So
Numenor.